Hey all you cool cats and kittens. Today we're going to be covering scrotal anatomy part 1. I'll talk about embryology and testicular anatomy. And then when I see you guys in class, we'll go over more scrotal anatomy, sonographic interpretations, and pathology. So let's talk embryology for a second. I'll try and keep it brief. You may remember from OB the gonads develop from the intermediate mesoderm layer. And around the 4th week of gestation, this intermediate mesoderm forms areas on either side of the early aorta called the urogenital ridge. So both the urinary system and the genital system are going to arise from this ridge. So from this ridge, the gonads begin their development up in the primitive abdomen with the kidneys, and the gonads start a craniocaudal journey from the abdomen down into the eventual scrotum. So from that urogenital ridge, the kidneys and the gonads say their goodbyes and they go separate ways. The kidneys will travel up superiorly and the gonads travel inferiorly. Issues in this journey are how we get variants such as pelvic kidneys or cryptorchidism, which is a failure of the testes to descend into the scrotum. This is commonly referred to as undescended testicles. As the gonads make their way down through the abdomen, the peritoneum starts to form a diverticulum or outpouching that protrudes through the anterior abdominal wall to form the inguinal canals. The testes will remain at the top of those inguinal canals until about the 28th week of gestation. At that 28th week, they'll travel through the inguinal canals and enter their final resting place in the scrotum. Alright, so let's talk testicular anatomy. Housed inside the scrotum, we have 2 oval-shaped glands, the testicles. Normal measurements are going to be about 3 to 5 centimeters in length, 2 to 4 centimeters in width, and approximately 3 centimeters in height. Each testicle has a bunch of wedge-shaped divisions in them. These are called the lobules of testes. And there's about 250 to 400 lobules in each testicle, believe it or not. And within each lobule, we have a bunch of coiled tubes. These are the seminiferous tubules, and these are where sperm production is going to occur. So these seminiferous tubules converge at the apex of each lobule, and this is going to form the reedy testes. Reedy getting its origins Latin meaning net, so it's going to be a network of delicate tubules, and this is going to be found in the mediastinum region. The mediastinum is going to be a central linear structure that runs within the testicle. This is something that we'll talk more about in class, but first let's take a quick look at what the mediastinum looks like sonographically. So here on the left we have a sagittal image, right we have transverse. This is showing that bright echogenic linear structure that runs craniocaudally through the testicle. That's the mediastinum, and that's what's going to be supporting the vessels and ducts of the testes. So we have our coils of seminiferous tubules that converge to form the reedy testes. From there we have efferent ductils. These ductils are going to carry sperm from the reedy testes to the epididymis. The epididymis not only acts as a storage site for sperm, but also a maturation site. And the epididymis most often sits posterior lateral to the testicle. And similar to a pancreas, it's going to be divided into a head, body, and tail. The head's most often located on the superior pole of the testicle, and then the body and tail are going to wrap posterior laterally around the testicle. So those afferent ductils there's going to be about 10 to 15 of them. They enter the epididymal head, and then they converge to form a single duct. That duct is going to run through the body and tail, and it's referred to as the ductus epididymis. And that's going to become the vas deferens. So what is the difference between a male and a female? Well, there's a vas deferens. Oh my gosh, am I a stand-up comedian or a teacher? All right, I'll stop now. Getting back to it. Oh my gosh, sorry guys, I'm tired. So the vas deferens joins the seminal vesicles, which are going to be paired of glands that secrete many of the components of semen. They're going to produce fluid that's rich in fructose. So this junction forms the ejaculatory duct, which empties into the male urethra. And then the junction between the ejaculatory duct and the urethra is known as the verumontanum. Okay, so that's the basic testicular anatomy. Before we move on to the scrotum itself, let's review. Housed within our wedge-shaped lobules, we have our seminiferous tubules. These tubules are going to be sperm factories. This is where sperm is produced. These tubules are going to converge to form the ready testes, located in the mediastinum. Ready testes turns into our efferent ductules. These are going to be like our sperm tunnels. They're going to be the connecting tunnel to transport sperm from testicle to epididymis. And epididymis is going to be our sperm storage facility. And it's also going to be where the sperm matures. Once mature and ready for departure, sperm travels from the ductus epididymis to the long tunnel, the vas deferens, meets with the seminal vesicles to ejaculatory duct, verumontanum, and finally out the urethra. All right, that's enough for now. We'll finish up scrotal anatomy in class. I'll see you guys then.